Shall we wait 1 or 2 minutes? We are going to give a break for Maghrib this week only, but remind me at the end, next week, we will
Sure.
need to give a break because we will have time to pray Maghrib before
Okay.
6,
Um,
because 6:39, sorry, 6:29 is the sunset next week, Monday, inshallah.
inshallah. Brother Marmar, I accidentally pressed the go live button, so we are live now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. اللهم افتح علينا حكمتك وانشر علينا رحمتك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم نور قلوبنا بنور الإيمان والقرآن والإسلام وبمعرفتك إن شاء الله. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربي أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. Now, we have been studying chapter Shams. At the very beginning, we said it is somewhere around the 3rd year of the message, this chapter was revealed. And that was the year that the people around the Prophet, the messenger of God, were becoming more aggressive and physical, not really direct attack, but somehow assaults were about to start. It was obvious that the people were forcing the companions, especially influential companion Abu Bakr, not to recite the Quran publicly, etc. This was the beginning of interfering, infringing the personal privacy, which was somehow commonly practiced in the community. It was strange because everybody who belonged to the tribe was, by definition, under protection of the whole tribe. That's why that is how the mentality, tribal mentality works. So that time it was very valid too, and in practice. Now we have been studying this chapter, and we see nothing to do with violence at all. So now it is time to come. Now, we studied this, we studied this. Now we came up to here. We studied this as well, but just tie up the subject with the following one, which is dramatically different from this the section that we have been studying. This section that we have been studying so far is just the preparation of the minds and making the people what they are supposed to do and what is the aim of life, and how they can prepare themselves with a strong faith and resistance against any physical attack, not to give in. That is why, first of all, the minds, the hearts, the emotions of the people needed to be purified, powered up, if you like, supported. I couldn't remember the word. Anyway, whatever it is. So needs to be strong. And all this verses we have been studying until 11th verse, which is last ones are 9 and 10. So we are going to just tie up the subject with them, with the cover. Now, we said last week, we just left this subject to be discussed. We said the spirit is by definition pure from God, and why this verse 9 says, he who purifies the spirit indeed is successful. Oh, what are we going to purify it? Because it's already clean. Now, and then we said, of course, it is clean, but we have free will. That is the most essential part of human being. I mean, most essential part is the spirit, but as far as our responsibility in this world is concerned, the free will is the most essential element in human being, in us, that we have to be careful, we have to watch out. So by using our free will, we may protect the purity or already pure spirit as it is, and it is a real, genuine essence, or we may dirty it. When we dirty it by using the alternative, which doesn't really exist, but we give it an appearance of existence, something like lying, something like denying the truth with a false ideology, or misusing our human qualities, misusing them in order to satisfy our egoistic desires. That is possible. How do I know? I know from myself. I think everybody experiences that within himself, herself. This is not strange to me. I do that. I understand this, how it works. Just using an example of a lamp, for example, there is light, a lamp really beaming, and it is light. We can dirty it, we can cover it with something black, which prevents the light from going out or spreading around, dispersing, it giving light around. What we have to do, we cannot benefit from the light as long as it is covered. Although light is there, that is the spirit. That is just a simple analogy. Light is there, but I don't get any light. The lamp is there and the light is there, but it is covered up. I don't benefit from it. That is why we have to be careful not to cover our spirit, enlightening spirit, appropriate way of acting, appropriate way of thinking, which does not contradict to our conscience, which conscience always reminds the truth, but we may not pay attention to it. Whatever comes from the spirit corresponds to what the conscience reveals us, tells us, lets us know. That is the truth. And we acknowledge it. We know it. We know what is true. We know not what is wrong, essentially in our essence of our spirit. But we may cover it up, and we may be oblivious of this truth. That is very possible. That is what I experienced in my life, and I'm sure you can also experience in your life, because we are human beings. We have the common principles of existence in general, how we are all created almost in the same way. So we share the same principles of life, same principles of existence. So what we have to do, what is the solution? When I cover it up with a black covering, whatever it is, let's say black cloth, so I don't benefit from the light. What is the solution? Everybody knows that the solution is very obvious to everyone, and Quran keeps hundreds of times asking the human beings to repent. For example, if we have some bad relationship with one of our family members, it happens, and maybe with my friends or colleagues or my neighbors, and if I feel that they did something wrong to me, what I expect from them to apologize, to repent, to come and say, I am sorry, then my anger will soothe down. That is how God is teaching me that, look, if you repent, you will just remove the black. It means it is like removing the black cover over the lamp. So repentance is the only way. God promises whoever asks for forgiveness, and in some verses he uses in the Quran explains that it is immediately removed. Don't you see that when you confess your mistake, immediately follows the relax, serenity, comfort, and you start becoming friendly with yourself. It means in agreement within yourself because of this confession. Unfortunately, in Christianity, people are expected to, I mean, it's a bad comparison, but we shouldn't confess ourselves to, like the Christian people do, to a priest or to, I don't know, our a pastor or whatever, mentor, whatever. And in modern times now, people confess whom? Who will guess? They don't go to church. They don't give the confession to a priest. What do they do? Any guess?
Social media.
Confession.
They could, yeah, they confess this, on social media, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, but professionally, thank you very much. It is okay. Not everybody can comfortably confess his or her, of course, mistakes there. But this is a profession developed nowadays. I don't completely disagree with it. There is a room for it, there is a reality in it, but it is distorted in the modern time because of the secular understanding of human minds or human nature. Confession takes in the office of the psychiatrist or psychologist. So they relax, they pay for it. God says, without paying, come to me and speak to me. Of course, it is not easy to speak to God and confess to God, because you have to be aware that He is with you. It needs some process. So those people who don't go through this process of acknowledging God, they have to confess in front of a priest or in front of a psychologist or the psychiatrist, so that they will feel relaxed. Of course, feeling relaxed through confession is within human nature. I don't blame it. I don't blame anyone. It's not my principle anyway, but this is how it is working. Confession must be between you and your creator, because you soiled, dirtied Creator's trust in you, which is his spirit in you represented. So it is his property. His property is damaged. We have to apologize from him. We have to confess to him, I am sorry, I betrayed your trust. Please forgive me. I don't want to do it. So that is the only solution. If we don't do it, what happens? We cover it more and more and more. The lamp never gives any light. And we say, that is an important point, which is also emphasized in the Quran. We have to be careful on various occasions. If we don't get, if someone, I hope, God willing, none of us will be in this position, or it's a very, very dangerous position. If we don't get any light from the lamp, although there's light in it, but we don't get it because we cover it up so that there is no light coming out. We see that, oh, why do I keep this light connected to the power? Take it off. Because there's no light. Why should I keep it connected to the power? When we took it off, that is called in the language of the Quran, a seal has been laid on the heart. That's it. Because even if you take out the cover, I mean, after this, no one does that because he already lost all his hopes, complete, already fell in the despair completely. He wouldn't try to take the cover up. It means clean it. It means we put ourselves in a completely helpless position by cutting off our relationship with the Creator, the owner of the spirit. And we start denying it. That is why immediately we put even a dot on the lamp of heart or our spirit. We have to clean it immediately before the stain settles down there. Clean it immediately. Doesn't matter how big, how small it is, clean it immediately. Don't let it remain there. That is said, asking for forgiveness immediately. God says, I promise, immediately I will forgive you. You will start getting the light again in its full sense as much as possible. As much as you recognize the value of the light, you will receive it. That is what the verse is saying to us, that who purifies it indeed is successful. Yeah, that is the success. Because no one says, I don't need to purify it. I don't need to apologize and ask for forgiveness because I have no stain on my spirit. I would say, are you sure? Think about it twice. I would like to claim the same thing in my personal life. I found no way to escape from dirtying my spirit. At least by being negligent in utilizing the opportunities provided for me within my spirit. Even if I don't break them or disobey them, I will not use it properly. This is okay. Our God says in the Quran as well, and in nature also, we always say that don't be perfectionist. Why? It is impossible for a man or for a person to be perfect. So don't be perfectionist in your expectations in your life. Everybody says this. You don't have to be a student of the Quran in order to be able to say this, because it is commonly known by human nature itself. But God says, don't be perfectionist. You may fall into any mistake on any disagreeable position anyway, as far as your spirit is concerned. Come to me, don't worry about it, come to me. Tawab means this, turns back and back and back again. Tawab. So it is interesting, beautiful. God says or appreciates a prophet, an example of a prophet, and he was tawab. So it means continuously repents. Nothing wrong with it, because God creates continuously and we spoil it continuously. We disobey God continuously. That's all right. That's why the continuous creation is happening like this. There is no static creation in the world. There is no static human nature in the world. It is not a right word. Human, I couldn't find a good word for it. Human station, let's say. Human beings. We are not static people. We change every moment. So today I'm very fine. Tomorrow don't come next to me, close to me. I am furious. That is quite human. And the Quran also says we created human being as hasty, as weak. What else? There are others. And anyway, not go to distraction anymore. This is okay. And he says, and he who corrupts it indeed is ruined. What I understand from it, why the first verse comes before the second one. It means verse 9 comes before 9. Because it means the one who cleans it, purifies it, is successful or saved. Okay, and then the one who corrupts it is indeed ruined. Why corrupts it, ruined? Because if we don't repent, then we corrupt the spirit. Especially when we cut off the relationship with our Creator completely. In the lamp example, take off the power line from the main, and there is no electric coming to lamp is not shining even behind the black cover, then that is ruined. Not that as soon as I do something wrong, in any ways, anything wrong I do, so I am ruined. No. If I don't repent, I am ruined. Now we will see, I think that is clear from my side, or that is as much as I have to tell you, and I'm very pleased that you were patient with me. But we will see that there is a completely seemingly irrelevant subject follows within the same chapter. That is very, very general practice of the Quran. Here we go. كذبت ثمود بطغواها. What? What are you talking about? Now, in their arrogant cruelty, the people of Thamud called their messengers a liar. It means they gave a lie to their messengers, or to our message, God's message. Kazabat, it means to give life to something which is true. Of course, in this context, we will see in the following verse, it is something to do with the messenger of God who was sent to them. In another part of the Quran says it is Salih. Doesn't matter the name. A messenger of God was sent to them. So they denied it. Or what is it to do with the previous message that we have been studying? Okay, I alluded a little bit that this verse was revealed before, just before the starting of the physical insult and infringement of the people around the prophet. It means we have to prepare ourselves to stand in a firm feet, if you like, on a firm feet in order to face any kind of harm which may come to us because of our faith. Now, inshallah, we will go into this subject after prayer. By the way, next week, the prayer time, Maghrib time, will be 11 minutes before 6:30. It means please prepare yourself, pray, and come to the discussion 6:30. So we won't need to give a break. But this is the last week that we have to have a 10 minutes break. Pray comfortably. Don't hurry, because prayer is the really ultimate aim of our life. Hope to see you after prayer, inshallah. And I think the host is going to pause the recording. Inshallah, I'll see you then after prayer. Wassalamu alaikum for now. Assalamu alaikum. I am back. Do you think we can start now? Has it been enough time to wait for our friends?
I'm okay to start.
Okay, start inshallah so that we can continue.
Okay.
Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Again, let's come back to our subject. Now, a people who were called Thamud, who are they? None of my business. Some people who arrogantly denied the message of the prophet. It means actually denying the message of the prophet, كذبت in general. So they denied the prophet, they denied his message, and also they denied other kinds of messages which are there for the spirit, human consciousness, human feelings are the source of message as well. The universe itself is a source of message as well. So there, or somebody who comes up with the truth and presents to the people and invites them to follow the truth and be a friend of the truth, not enemy of the truth, they denied it. It means they are denying the truth now. But بتقواها, really it is the worst kind of arrogance. It is translated here, arrogant cruelty. Why? We will understand why it is really the worst one. إذ انبعث أشقاها. Then when the most wicked man among them, most daring one, rose, came up, emerged among them, came up or rose against the prophet and said, فَقَالَ لَهُمْ رَسُولُهُمْ, the messenger of God said to them, Rasulullah, sorry, yeah, it was wrong. فَقَالَ لَهُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ, please, this is the she-camel of God. She-camel. وَسُقْيَاهَا, let her drink. Oh, what is this she-camel? Oh, it is a great subject. Those people who study psychology, politics, administrative matters, etc., it is a very, very important subject. Naqat Allah, it is very easy. It is the she-camel of God. She-camel is not important. Maybe male, maybe because literal meaning she-camel. You can say camel on, you can generalize it, property of God. We have to remember at this stage now, everything belongs to the Creator. Everything is his property. Every being in the world is naqat Allah, mulkullah, everything in the world. So we belong to God. We are, for example, the people of God. Or anybody actually, a tree, maybe a stone, it is all belong to God. So if we recall from the stories of the prophets, especially from the story of the prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, we understand that they start the message by telling people that please do not disgrace, do not disdain the rights of the innocent, poor people who lack protection, who have no power to protect themselves, materially or otherwise. So take care of the weak people, take care of the poor people, they take care of the needy, they take care of the orphans, etc. This is how the message starts. And do not worship your egoistic desires. Do not think that this world is eternal and you are going to remain in this world forever. And everybody will inevitably face the death. That is the core message at the beginning. When even they say don't worship anything other than God, it means, actually it means, we can discuss if someone doesn't agree, don't worship your own caprices, your own ego. Don't proclaim yourself as a small God. That is what the message is. Otherwise, the people will say, okay, we believe in God and carry on their life. No, no, no. Don't put yourself in the center of your life. Think about it. You belong to something else. The other people also belong to something else. You, all of you, everything in the universe belong to the creator of the universe. None of the things, none of you human beings, none of the things in the universe belongs to itself. How can you claim that you own your own self? So you worship yourself, you worship your ego. Therefore, you say, I belong to myself. It means the things out there belong to themselves as well. If they cannot defend themselves, I can destroy them. That is why the voice of the prophet here is so soft. If you read it in a meaningful way, the verse sounds like this: فَقَالَ لَهُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ. Please, it is God's property. وَسُقْيَاهَا. Let him drink, let him eat, let him benefit from the world as you are doing. Why do you take the possession of their right from them? Because you think that you are powerful, so that you can practice your power in any way you like. They are defenseless. For example, in this example, the camel cannot defend itself. You can take a knife or something in your hand, and usually they use the sword. I don't know. That's how I knew it. I learned. I have never seen how do they slaughter the camel, but with the sword they slaughter it. That's it. No, the camel cannot protect itself. So how do we understand that this is a common problem? It is not only for the problem of the people of Thamud, not at all. It is our problem. Those elite, those people think that they are powerful. They can manipulate the administrators, the politicians. They can really bribe the politicians and make the politicians work themselves. They can really manipulate with the system so that the system will work in their favor. They can do that. This is the people of Thamud then. So if someone is defenseless here, poor, cannot really go to, or cannot get in, for example, how they are called, lawyers, attorney, or anybody to defend his rights here and there, because they are so expensive. So you know that they don't even know, some people may not know even how to defend their rights. And also another matter is here. Another matter is here. Very important that we have to pay attention. Exploiting not only weakness of the people, for example, other types of the people. People may be ignorant. People don't know what is going on in the society. Using the social media or really the news channels and manipulate their minds. That is the same thing. These people are misled as far as the information they need to get from this about the society. So the prophet comes, don't mislead these people. Don't give false information. Don't grasp their meaning of their property. Don't get their property and use it in your favor. Don't do that. The prophet's message is this. So what the people say about this, let's see. Okay. Here. Well, of course, we are out of the chapter now. We are going to see how this chapter in this context is explained in another part of the Quran. So here the Quran says, وَقَالَ الْمَلَوُ الَّذِينَ اسْتَكْبَرُوا مِنْ قَوْمِهِ. But the arrogant leaders, elite, I would call it now, among his people, said, لِلَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا. That is very important. To the believers they thought to be of no account. استضعف. That is important to see. I'm sorry, I touched again the wrong button. Okay. Let's see. Go back. Okay. Someone may not be weak, but they may think that they are weak. Instead of they were seen, regarded as weak. This is the majhul form, so that is too daifu. That's why we have to translate it in this way. They thought to be of no account. It means these people are regarded as no account. It means poor, lower class of the society by the arrogant leaders of the elite of the society. They said, أتعلمون أن صالحا مرسل من ربي. Look at how sarcastic way of asking the question. Do you honestly think that the Salih is the messenger from his Lord? Something like that. And the believers said, قالوا إنا بما أرسل به مؤمنون. Hey, we believe in the message sent through him. And the reply was, قال الذين استكبروا إنا بالذي آمنتم به كافرون. But the arrogant leaders said to those people, we reject what you believe in. We don't believe it. Come on. We are not going to be with you, ignorant people, poor people, lower class people. We don't want to be with you even together. That is how the quarrel starts. The quarrel is, be careful, not only the conflict is going on, not only among the believers and non-believers. Look, fundamental problem at the beginning of the message is the conflict between arrogant people and poor people. those people who think that they have superior position in the society, and on the other side, those people cannot defend themselves. So we can understand that the she-camel of God is the poor people's right. It means God creates everything for everyone to be used equally, as much as they struggle to get something out of it. Means their labor is attached to it as much as they can. Of course, if somebody doesn't work, although while he is able to work, he cannot get as much. But those people who work must be given, not because of their status in the society. The whole universe is the common property of every individual being. How about the other things on earth, which is more practical? Now, everything is created, belongs to everyone. It is a common property. Someone may say, oh, are we going to be a communist or something? No, don't worry about it. Don't worry. So everyone will have equal to their labor. Nothing to do with the society, especially common properties. Common properties. Of course, in the how to say, farmer's life, there are some properties which are common, which properties do not belong to any particular people. It is the common property of the village, for example. It is the common property of the people in a town, for example, the park places, the streets, or this is of course town life nowadays. But in the village, still they use the land. So forests are common property. No one can really go and confiscate it for himself. No, they have to respect the rights of others. That is how the conflict starts between the followers of the prophet and deniers of the prophet, or followers of the message and deniers of the message. So we have to understand that this mostly the conflict between the people, it is an conflict of interest. And the powerful ones, or somehow those people who are in an advantageous position, always try to get most of the pieces of the cake, if you like, common property. What the camel was doing there, from there we understand that, so let her drink, it means let this poor guy also benefit from the common property. Why do you use it only for yourself? Why do you prevent him from getting his right? Or why do you prevent him from learning the truth by presenting a misleading information and giving him wrong ideas? For example, although we should realize that education is free and everybody can educate, homeschooling, etc. But again, curriculum is under state control. And also, of course, textbooks are everywhere. I don't see any state. I haven't heard. If you heard something that it is exceptional, please let me know, because everywhere in the world, textbooks are prepared and confirmed by the state authority. What does it mean? You can only learn and teach your children what I want you to teach. Isn't that killing the camel of God? the common property. Everybody must have the right to access any information he wants. Why do you prevent my child from getting education as he wants or as I want, as the guardian of the child, and I want to educate him or her in the way I want? Why do you say you have to teach this book and I am going to give the test according to the content of this book, and then I will authorize him to be legally a professional person authorized by the state authority? Otherwise, no one will employ it because it won't be recognized, his information, his knowledge. That's why we have to go to school. I think there is a maybe a question. Taya asks a question. Let me see at this stage. MashaAllah. I know I interpreted it like that. It makes so much. Oh, thank you very much. I thought, okay, this is good. Express your feeling, but Alhamdulillah. So it is important, to have an extra idea, another perspective, and also maybe related questions. I love it, especially challenging questions and opposite ideas, challenging. Oh, how do you get this? Nagat Allah is Nagat Allah, she-camel of God. Why do you say it is not horse? Everything, or land. No. Everything, including the universe. For example, some people make a lot of money out of chemical productions, and they pollute the air I breathe. They don't let me know how harmful it is. And somebody takes tax from me, and they produce or use my money, at least a good portion of my money, to manufacture weapons, not for the benefit of human beings. I mean, there are some technologies used for the benefit of human beings. They are what I welcome them, but to kill other people, to feel that I'm going to defend my country, oh, I'm puzzled in this world, in this age. Every nation is really piling up their ammunitions, trillions of dollars worth out of the tax of the people. Everybody says, I'm going to defend my country. Oh, okay. You? Yes, I'm going to defend my country. This is for the budget of the defense minister. Defense. No one is war minister. Since everybody defends himself, why do you need to defend? Because no one is attacking. No one is attacking you. Everybody says, I'm defending myself. I'm defending myself. No, none of them says, I'm going to attack somebody. That's why I need weapons. Isn't that the trick? I puzzled. It is a very important things are going on as far as the right of the she-camel of God. She-camel of God is concerned. That is a very important social problem. If there was a prophet now, I believe he would start from this unjust treatment of the poor people and also unjust treatment of educating the children. They are just brainwashing the children in a certain ideology, which is called secularist education. Even, I always say this in order to draw the attention of my friends, as I went through it, I went through the religious education at the highest level possible for me. Now, even religion is taught in the modern world in a secular way. It is unbelievable. I cannot explain it to you how. It is a long process. So we have to watch out. We have to watch out. Anyways, so injustice in the social level, as a social disease, is the main problems that the prophets struggle against. And then they start destroying the idols in the hearts of the people, which is mainly the human ego. If human ego idol is broken down, destroyed, completely taken away, believing in God is nothing. It's very easy. Everybody can look at the world. Even look at a, I don't know, a fly, a mosquito, as the Quran says, is enough. A bug, study it, you will understand that it cannot come all this perfect body structure and also nature of that human being defending himself, also, how do you say, reproduction system, digestive system, blood circulation. Oh, but it cannot imagine nerve circulation and finding their food, feeding themselves, taking care of their young. Every single animate being, especially animate beings, out of 6 or 7 million species, has its own unique, perfect working lifestyles. Everything happened accidentally like this. No one can buy it. Come on. No one is that stupid. And human beings are honored creatures. Come on, we have to respect it. Oh, excuse me. I'm busy with something here. Okay, thank you. So that is what we understand now, the struggle between the people of Thamud and the prophet. So we understand that Salih, Prophet Salih, starts the message with what? This is God's poor camel. Please let the camel get his water and let him take, because as camel doesn't belong to you, be careful. Water doesn't belong to you. The grazing area doesn't belong to you. The earth doesn't belong to you. So how can you prevent God's camel from God's bounty? How can you appropriate it to yourself and take it? You understand that this matter is directly related to the very heart of belief matter. Do you believe that you own yourself? Do you believe that you own water? Yeah, you own water? How dare you say this? Did you create it? Did you do anything to get the water? It is just given to you by the one who owns the camel. He also owns you too, but why do you kick away the poor people? You don't think, because you think that they are defenseless, that is why you take over their rights. And oh God, let's see what happens afterwards. Okay, we studied this. We know, in order to understand what is going on in between those with the arrogant leaders and those people deemed to be very poor and defenseless. So what happened? فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَعَقَرُوهَا. They denied. They called him a liar. Him is the prophet. It's the message. Message. Who cares? Really, my main concern is my main concern, my personal concern. Everybody may have different concerns. I respect them, but my main concern turns around. You may be surprised. Two matters. You may be surprised. You will say, "I'm going to say religion is no, that is religion, really religion," but one is education system. The other one is really production of the weapons. Oh, everything is going on in the world because of this weapon productions technology. They have to use and sell out the old technology. They have to fight between themselves in order to gain the market. So they would produce higher technology. Where? In weapons. So that they have to sell the weapon. How? There must be danger for the people, so that the nation, so that they will say, "Oh, you know, I have an enemy there. My neighbor is an enemy for me. So I have to defend myself and attack him if he attacks me, or I will attack him before if I am more powerful." So that this causes millions of life. Not only financial crisis, not only family crisis. You know the people who came, the soldiers who came back from wars in the Middle East? They are completely out of control. They lost their human senses. Yeah. I know some of them, they go out at night, shout, and there are just lots of different names of disorder. And the state calls them, "Please come, we are going to treat them freely." They don't, because they are out of control. How a person can stand this horrible aftermath of the wars? Not only the people they killed, their own soldiers suffer from it. Really, if I wasn't in the here in the class, I would cry. They are harming their own people, their own soldiers, because of these weapon competitions and reproduction, new technology. They have to get rid of the old technology and sell them to poor countries, and they have to get this weapon out of the money of the very poor people. What is crazy? What they are going to do with it? Our country is the superpower. Well, superpower. There were many superpowers in the history. You know that they were not only kingdom, they were empires, emperors, empresses, etc., whatever they call them. Where are they? You are the superpower. Which superpower lasted forever? What are you trying to cheat yourself? Be just. Okay, this is one thing. War, education. I want to teach my children that this universe has an owner. Why don't you let me? In my official education recognized by the state authority, so that I'm going to teach my child chemistry, biology, physics, maybe sociology, philosophy, history, according to the very basic understanding or belief that my child will think of everything in terms of the fact that the universe has an owner. When he is a doctor, he will treat the man as a she-camel of God. When he's an engineer, he will produce a new machine to be used by the she-camel of God. This notion, respect anybody because he belongs to God, the creator of the universe. He is not alone, he is an owner. Do you think he is poor and he will die? You are rich and you won't die? Are you cheating yourself? Come on. So the prophets are begging to the people, don't misuse yourself so that you are harming others as well. You are really transgressing the rights of the poor people as well. So the people, especially financial exploitation is one thing, very real thing. How about this psychological exploitation, downlooking the people, at the people who are not as highly educated as other people? Disregarding their rights, cheating them by exploiting their ignorance about the subject. Well, I have lots of things about it. Somebody may say that I am a communist and socialist here making propaganda. No, I am really just, how do you say, resonating what the prophetic message is here. You see, the problem has nothing to do with believing in God or not, but essentially it does. But outward appearance of it, it doesn't have anything to do with belief, but essentially it is. If someone doesn't believe in God, he has to be arrogant as much as he can. That is why the argument between here, prophet, whatever the name is not important, the messenger of God and the people is happening among the social status of the people. So we have to respect the people. Is it the end of it? No, it is just the starting point. So we have to respect the rights of animals. We have no right to destroy the land where the people can cultivate and produce some harvesting food to the people to eat comfortably. So we have to protect the rights of any other creature, not necessarily only the land, not necessarily only the animals. Why not plants? For the never satisfied feelings of the people and that's financially satisfied. I haven't been there, the rainforests are being destroyed. And those people who are expert on it, they say, what are you doing? And also the free air is polluted. That is just exploitation. How about the fresh water? Now, don't you see that it is very hard to get, not, how do you say the word, my English is horrible, my vocabulary is very poor. There's nuclear waste polluted the oceans. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. The oceans are polluted, not only the rivers. Come on, what is going on? Isn't that just killing the she-camel? Because ocean is a she-camel. Rivers are she-camel. Forests are she-camel. And the prophet is begging them, hey, they don't belong to you. They have their own owner. You cannot destroy them. You cannot exploit them. You cannot pollute them. It is for everyone, not only benefit of for a few elite people, rich people, that they can produce everything at the cost of polluting the air that I am breathing, polluting the water that I am drinking. So let the she-camel get her share in water, her share in the grace, common area in the world, whatever God created on earth. So we call it God's green earth. Green earth. How about these problems coming slowly, slowly in an increasing way? What will happen to the ice on the poles, ice mountains, icebergs on the pole? What is happening there? Those people are conscious of these kind of things, knowing scientifically what's going on there. They are shouting, they are crying, and the politicians are putting some, I don't know, cotton in their mouth. I don't know the expression, shutting them down, saying that, come on, you are being not really scientific, etc. For the benefit of just, I don't know, taking some sort of position. They call it high position. For me, it's that horrible position. I don't know. If you like, a throne established on the shoulders of the poor people. I don't know. That is unbearable. That is, the nature is being destroyed, and no one cares. And God's prophets speak in favor of the nature, saying that please be careful not to spoil it, not to exploit it. So here we go. The last verse before we close today's class. I'm a bit sensitive. I don't know. I just excited myself. I don't know whether you are excited as well. Wow, how careless these people who don't believe in God. Yeah, it is horrible, horrible. Anyway, the last verse is وَلَا يَخَافُ عُقْبَاهَا. Because فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَعَقَرُوهَا. We didn't study the following of the verse we said. فَدَمْدَمَ عَلَيْهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ بِذَنْبِهِمْ فَسَوَّاهَا. Now then, therefore their Lord crushed them down for their sin, for their arrogance, and made their punishment equal unto them all. It means made them equal to each other. It means, yes, poor people are breathing polluted air. Okay, what are they doing? What are they doing? Are they breathing fresh air? Their children are breathing fresh air? No, everybody is equally damaged. But they may say that, well, I can get the whole food, even if it is more expensive. Why whole food is expensive? Not polluted. We'll put it in this way. Not polluted food is expensive. Polluted food is cheap. But as it is, as they call it, naturally grown, it means as God's order, a lot of things grow, reproduce themselves in an order under the control of God. So they put something on it, add something on it. It should be chemicals. It should be more expensive. No other way around. Because they do all sorts of tricks to goddess order, within the goddess order, of course, and they produce more than how God has established in its order normally. So God allows them, of course, God allows, if I want to kill somebody with a gun in my hand, I am free to do so. That is how the nature, the order of the universe is established. That is why I am being in this world, whether learning what is right, what is wrong, and choosing what is right, what is wrong. So deciding accordingly, at the end, I will be taken into account for my own choices. So what is happening here now? God says, look, we crushed them down altogether, and we made their punishment equal to their sin, or everybody will be damaged in the same way as a result. As a result of, I don't know, whatever they call it, this pollution let's put it in this way, nuclear wastes and the pollutions altogether. So everybody is affected, not only the poor people. But temporary solutions, okay, there may be an option, because God really doesn't give the final decision while we are here on earth. Excuse me, let me see if there is anything in chat. Okay. Mohammed Said says, because we have to invest extra to protect the food from pollution. No, of course, they are polluting it. We are paying it. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. It really is an upside down situation. They pollute, we pay for it. No, that is the reality. That is why we have to understand that religion is not a matter of heart only. Ultimately, it is, I agree, but the reflection of the heart demonstrates itself, shows itself in my personal life within a societal context. So my life is directly related to social subjects, society altogether. So if I am a bad person, society has a harmful cell in its body. If I am a good person, society has a healthy cell in its body. So if I am a bad man, ultimately I am harming the society. Of course, it costs a lot. Do you see in America, for example, how many people are in prison now? Well, I don't know. Some people say 1 million, maybe more, but that is how it is released in the news. Around a little bit more than 1 million, as much as I know, maybe more, maybe less. Who's paying them? Me, you. Why? Because they are harmful. Yeah, these people are harming the society, you and me, right? So if there is something happening because of the wrong policy of a state, and though the arrogant people are really practicing their ego, their caprices in such a way that harms everybody, I am paying them. So I cannot really go any further. So everybody in this society ultimately everybody is harmed by the arrogant people's attitude and their treatment of the poor ones, needy ones, ignorant ones, etc., uneducated ones, exploiting the people. So the last verse says, وَلَا يَخَافُ عُقْبَاهَا, and he didn't fear the consequence. while we are like this, well, the time is up, but we are like this. We pay attention to our immediate benefit, immediate interest. We don't see the consequence of it. For example, I may like to do something. If I see that it brings me benefit right now, I just jump into it and do it. But I have to take notice of the consequence of my action. It is more important. It is because the consequence may be much more harmful. For example, having an unjust society, unjust financial distribution, wealth distribution, ultimately costs rebellion in the society. Everybody gets angry with the administration, and at the end, they rise up, and maybe a social problem, psychological problems goes on top of each other, and no one can really handle it anymore. Consequences much more worse. For example, a person drinks, and what happens afterwards? Now he damages other people, he crashes his car and maybe kills people on the street, or other bumps into other people's car and damage them. Consequence, while he is drinking, he is, I don't know, merrymaking or whatever they call it. I am enjoying my life. You are not enjoying your life, my dear friend. You are preparing yourself to harm the others. And you become weak person, psychologically weak person, maybe also health-wise weak person, and you go to hospital because you smoke. You smoke. You say, I enjoy it. You enjoy, but you go to hospital and benefit from the hospital facilities which are provided by my tax. You are harming me while you are smoking. Not only you are harming yourself. Of course, we have to think of the consequence of all the things that we are doing. In this world, let alone in the hereafter, that is something in the hands of God. He will take care of it. This is not me who's going to take care of it, but I have to defend my life as much as my power allows me to do that while I am in this world. So I have to speak up. I have to say, hey, no, you cannot do it because you cannot smoke because it costs me. So the Quran said 1400 years ago, وَلَا يَخَافُ عُقْبَاهَا. And those people, okay, it is singular, but we can make it plural here. Those people didn't really take into consideration of the consequence of what they are doing by killing the she-camel of God, poor people's rights. Okay, I think we have to understand that prophetic message is not a matter of believing in God or not only, praying and fasting only. Prophetic message is directly related to our social life, social justice. That is why it is very important to read the Quran from our practical life perspective, maybe individual psychological problems, but at the same time, sociological problems must be dealt with by God's ordinance. God speaks to us not only to organize our belief system, but also as an reflection of the belief system in our social life. God organizes our social life as well through his guidance. Inshallah, we will take notice of his guidance. May Allah be pleased with you. Tomorrow, next Monday, inshallah, we will come to the class praying, already prayed after Maghrib, Maghrib prayer, and 6:30 we can comfortably pray and join the discussion at 6:30. So those people who are aware of our Wednesday class, we are studying the story of Prophet Ayub. So that is interesting. And we are going to study some other prophetic teachings in order to understand the message which is directly related to our life. Saturday, also, as you know, 11:30, we have we call it morning class. If not, okay, next Monday, 6:30. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.